This report contends that the recently held national elections were marred by massive fraud, heightened violence, and flagrant disrespect for the rule of law. Somebody did more than just tamper with the May 2004 elections. This report asserts that the incidents of fraud and violence were not random acts. The operations were systematic, well-orchestrated, national in scale, and well-funded. They were evidently premeditated and obviously falling within the grand design to subvert the electoral process and to deliver the votes to Gloria Macapagal Arroyo. On May 10, 2004, the theft of the elections was carried through. Election day saw the large-scale disenfranchisement of voters nationwide. The Parish Pastoral Council for Responsible Voting estimates the disenfranchised voters to reach 3 million. Given the tightly contested presidential elections, the estimated number of disenfranchised voters exceeds the projected winning margin, and if considered, may very well change the outcome of the elections. What is disenfranchisement and where did it happen? Valencia City in Bukidnon is a case in point, where more than a third of the electorate, or some 25,000 voters, were unable to exercise their right to vote. On election day, the list of registered voters were totally disarranged. Voters' names could only be found the day after the election. Names of thousands of voters were also missing or omitted from the list. Others found out that somebody else had already voted for them. Also on election day, the padding of the voters' list to favor GMA came to light. But the lights too went out. The counting and canvassing were disrupted in various precincts nationwide. This, in spite of contrary claims by the authorities. The manipulation of election results could not have been done without a conspiracy involving the COMELEC and the palace. Manipulation included vote buying, switching of ballots, filling up of excess ballots in favor of GMA, illegal transfer of canvassing sites, dagdag bawas, election returns not reflecting figures on the tally sheet, tampering or altering of ERs, SOVs, and COCs, no elections but with COCs, and statistical improbabilities. The nationwide manipulation of election results to make certain a GMA victory is evidenced in specific poll fraud cases across the provinces. In Luzon, Cordillera Autonomous Region, Lubuanga, Kalinga. This particular dagdag tally from Lubuanga, Kalinga illustrates how the votes were overcredited in favor of GMA by at least 667. In clustered precincts 18A and 19A, the nine votes of GMA became 249. And yet the total number of voters who actually voted was only 230. In clustered precincts 16A and 17A, the 57 votes of GMA was increased to 157 and so on. Easily, 2,000 votes were added to GMA. We are in possession of SOVs and COCs which showed that alterations to favor GMA were made in many precincts. Still in the Cordillera region, in Tuba, Benguet, SOVs and tally sheets showed that the precinct had 157 registered voters and 159 ballots assigned. Only 127 voted, but the number of votes counted for all 5 presidential candidates was 582. This is 455 votes more than those who actually voted. In Mountain Province, the votes for Alianza na Pag-asa senatorial candidate Frank Chavez were shaved by 13,000 and added to the votes of Pia Cayetano, a senatorial candidate of K4, as evidenced by the erasures in this COC. The votes for senatorial candidate Carmen Bora, meanwhile, were completely erased and added to those of K4's Bong Revilla. Region 1, Pangasinan. In Santo Tomas, Pangasinan, according to the statement of votes by precinct, GMA received 5,470 votes, while all other presidential candidates received 0 in 34 out of 34 precincts. To ensure such an outcome, canvassers were held at gunpoint. Region 4, Cavite. In Rosario, Cavite, the COC and SOV by precinct showed that only 33,169 persons voted. However, the total number of votes counted for the 5 presidential candidates was 34,267. This is 1,098 votes more than the total number who voted. In the Visayas, Region 6, Bacolod City, ERs were pre-signed with the congressional, mayoralty, vice-mayoralty, and councilors filled up. The space for the total number of voters and ballots had been left out with no entries, thereby prone to fabrication of numbers. In Calinog, Iloilo City, 3 statements of votes coming from 3 different precincts reflect the same grand total for 11 senatorial candidates, which does not match the tabulated results in the same precincts. Let us marvel at these 3 statements of votes. In Region 7, another highlight of fraud happened in Bohol. Here in Sierra Bolyones, only 1 person seemed to have signed for the BEI of all the precincts, as indicated in this document. The church group UCCP in the community was outraged. It initiated a manifesto condemning fraud. Over 200 signed. In Region 7, Cebu, SOVs from different precincts were obviously filled up by using one and the same typewriter. These supposedly different SOVs also sported the same handwriting in the entries. The election returns from Barili and Mandaue City also sported the same handwriting in the entries. The same is true for the election return from Medellin when matched against that of Barili. NBI handwriting experts, after scrutinizing most of the election returns from Cebu, revealed that 7 writing styles are identical.